Let's look back at the Tampa game for a couple minutes and then on to this matchup. We had a caller earlier ask a burning question about the run defense. I know the offense is like the story of the day, but it's a day where Tampa runs all over the Bills. And for anybody that's worried about them, I think run defense would be at the top of the list of things that they have to find a way to fix. So when you watch this team play throughout the season, they've given up massive rushing performances to guys that we do know and guys that we don't know. What is the common thread that has led to the breakdowns in the Bills stopping the run?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, Jeremy, it's just that they're not very consistent with their run fits, and you get some displacement in defensive linemen, defensive tackles in particular, getting moved out of their gap. And, when you're a single gap defense, someone's out of their gap, you got a problem. You get creased, and, if your second and third levels aren't sound, you're going to get long runs. And I think generally that's probably the biggest issue against Tampa in particular. I thought it was less that and more just getting out-gapped and getting out-leveraged in the run game, where Tampa did a really good job of using motion and using pullers. And usually those would be conflicting ideas where they would motion one way at the snap and then pull offensive linemen the other way. And whenever the motion happens, the Bills like to bump their backers and move them over a gap or a half a gap. And that's exactly what the Bucs wanted them to do. And so you get these linebackers going the wrong way with pullers coming the other way, and you got out-gapped multiple times, which was kind of a theme from the Dolphins game, where I thought that was probably more of a blend of, hey, people getting moved out of the way and getting out-gapped. But Tampa definitely did a good job of kind of using some of the Bills' rules against them and creating some really nice runways for Sean Tucker, who's got a lot of speed. So I think it was more scheme this time than it was just people getting rooted out of their gaps.
Do you feel like in some games it's scheme, in some games it's talent, and basically the Bills will have to try to find a way to cobble it together one way or the other each and every week?
Yeah, I'd say more times than not it's defensive linemen getting moved out of gaps. I would say mostly it's that, but now there's this motion layer to it the last couple of weeks that is kind of complicating some things. And I do think they have to overcome it with scheme. And here's the challenge with overcoming it with scheme. If you're wrong, boy, it becomes very problematic. And the Bills had a couple of situations against Tampa where they would run blitz or they'd overload to a side. And then, Tampa would check at the line and go to a weak side run or, flip the direction of the run. That's like, no matter what you do, you're just wrong. And when you don't have very firm defensive tackles against the run, this is kind of a challenge that you have.